Diddy would make her take the male escort's finishing product and rub it on his chest and nipples.
Nigga, that is fucking nuts. That nigga said finishing product. This nigga would have the fucking male escorts bus. Then she would take the bus and rub it on his nips?
Dirty Dan. Dirty Dan. Dirty Dan. I'm Dirty Dan. I don't know what you mean. I'm Dirty Dan. It's absolutely amazing. I'm Dirty Dan. Whoa, Dirty Dan.
Let's watch some more Diddy shit.
In this video, I captured Diddy's scalding reaction, a detailed description of the dark room session and the impact on Diddy's case. Let's get into it. Cassie's bombshell testimony. The courtroom erupted when Cassie,
those AI photos be going fucking crazy,
took the stand to detail the horrors she allegedly endured at the hands of Sean Diddy Combs.
She says that, you know, it was very well choreographed. Like, it was almost, when she was describing it, I was like, it sounds like he was shooting a music video.
Executive producing.
No, for real, for real.
Y'all, these weren't just wild parties. These were methodical, organized events that Cassie described as being choreographed, like Diddy was directing a music video. This man treated these encounters like he was shooting a Bad Boy Records production, complete with specific lighting, scents, and props. Cassie broke down these freak-offs into 4 distinct steps, explaining the disturbing system that Diddy allegedly created.
So that first step was the descriptive foreplay, and then step 2 was the touching.
Step 1 was what she called descriptive foreplay, where she would have to verbally describe everything happening with the male escort. Diddy wanted to hear every detail, like he was listening to an X-rated audiobook.
Oh, she said that the first step was there was like and they would have to do math. Would be her and the escort, and she would have to talk out loud and describe what she was seeing.
Step 2 was the touching phase, and this is where all that baby oil would come out. When
that baby oil would come out. Right, yeah, this nigga deadass was an orchestrator of, like, an opera of orgies. It's crazy. An orchestrator of orgies.
Authorities raided Diddy's properties. They found over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. That's not a personal supply, that's a wholesale inventory. Man was running an entire slip and slide operation in his bedroom.
She said that they would oil up so much. That was like a big thing for Puff, allegedly. Like, you had to be oiled, that every 5 minutes they were like just re-oiling because
he wants you to look like a shiny suit.
Yeah, because it glistens.
I'm about to say, damn, every 5 minutes you reapplying oil, nigga? You about shiny as shit.
I guess it's the sexiness of baby oil.
Step 3 was the oral activities, which Cassie admitted she would rush through just to get it over with because she didn't want to be doing any of this in the first place. She was just participating because she was so in love with Diddy and didn't want him to do these things with anyone else.
She just was doing it because she was so in love, and she said she didn't want him to go and do it with anybody else. Now, step 4 was the actual intercourse, where they would engage in, sex.
Step 4 was the actual intercourse, where sometimes Diddy would just watch, but other times he would join in if they were really comfortable with an escort. But wait, it gets even worse. Cassie testified that after these encounters, Diddy would make her take the male escort's finishing product and rub it on his chest and nipples.
Nigga, that is fucking nuts. That nigga said finishing product. This nigga would have the fucking male escorts bus. Then she would take the bus and rub it on his nips? Nigga, what? What kind of nigga is you? Why?
Trying to keep this family friendly, but what in the actual...
She said that a lot of times after they would finish, the escorts would have a happy ending, and Puff would make her take that happy ending and rub it on his nip, and then they would engage in whatever they were going to do, just Cassie and Puff allegedly.
So his man milk on Puff's...
That's what Cassie is alleging, that she that
That's
Puff
fucking
liked her
wild,
to rub
bro.
it on his chest and on his nipple.
They actually
nigga, what?
Man milk.
Man milk on nipples, nigga? What the fuck, bro? Yeah, that nigga that nigga different, bro. Yeah, bro. Make sure he stay wherever he at right now. He don't need to come back. He need to stay where he at, dog. Nigga, that is fucking... Huh?
In the courtroom, this testimony had everyone gagging, including Diddy's family members who were present.
So chocolate-covered nipples with a semen drizzle.
Yo, shut up, man.
And
Glaze, we have to
Niggas.
say Glaze.
One of the most disturbing allegations involved a male escort who was allegedly made
Hold on, my bad.
to urinate on Cassie during one of these encounters. When asked why she didn't just tell them to stop or move out of the way, during disturbing
Semen drizzle.
on gagging, including Diddy's family members who were present.
So chocolate covered nipples with a semen drizzle.
Yo,
Glaze.
shut up, man.
And
Glaze, we have to say Glaze.
One of the most disturbing
With a semen
allegations
drizzle.
involved a
It's
male
crazy,
escort who
nigga.
was allegedly made to urinate on Cassie during one of these encounters. When asked why she didn't just tell them to stop or move out of the way, Cassie explained, when they would get to a point where it was too
Exactly. I'm about to say, why ain't you just... Oh, that's gay. Hey, why don't you just move out the way? You know what I'm saying? Like Riley did. You know what I'm saying? He said, shit, if I see somebody pissing and I don't want to get pissed on, I just move out the way. Why don't you just move out the way, Cassie?
tell them to stop or move out of the way, Cassie explained, when they would get to a point where it was too much for her, sometimes he would tell the escorts, Puff would tell the escorts allegedly like, yo, all right, let's stop, let's chill. So they asked her like, why wouldn't you just tell them to stop yourself? And she said, I mean, I'm laying on the floor and allegedly intoxicated by all these things, and it's two men standing over me. What am I going to do? So I just laid there.
What do you mean, what are you gonna do, bitch? Fight or flight? Huh? The fuck? What do you mean? You got two niggas standing over you with their dicks out and they peeing or getting ready to pee? Bitch, do an alligator roll. Roll away. Crawl away. What do you mean? You just stand there and just like, oh, this is life. What do you mean? Move. The fuck?
Cassie painted a picture of complete powerlessness in these situations, often being under the influence of substances and feeling unable to resist.
But you wanted to take ecstasy with him when y'all was like when you was first introduced to the nigga. So it's not like niggas forced the drugs down your throat. You were a willing participant. You actually did take the shits because you wanted to take the shits because you fuck with the nigga at that time. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you was, I was completely drugged out of my mind and I couldn't. You did it to yourself a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, you was in a weird compromising position, but you kind of did it to yourself. You still gotta, own up to your part in this whole debacle. This is why I have no sympathy for her. She a grown ass woman. That's what I'm saying, bro. I mean, come on now.
She was allegedly forced to participate in these activities even during her monthly cycle, which she didn't want to do but felt coerced.
And we've heard this story, but she said that because we heard before that there were extra linens because
It's dookie on the sheets.
So
Nigga said, this is dookie on the sheets.
Pussy stank. Just can't see.
Bro.
Scratch that itch. Ask your doctor today. It's right for you.
Nigga, why you say it like that? Nigga, Charlamagne's stupid, bro. Nigga said, there's dookie on the sheets. Hey, yo. That nigga dumb, bro.
what she said was, because we heard before that there were extra linens because
It's dookie on the sheets.
So what she said was she was actually
up, man.
Bro, he said it's so normal, so genuine. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no smile, there's no laugh, there was no jokes. He was like, bro, I heard there was dookie on the sheets. Like, he said it's so normal. That's what caught me off guard, bro. That's what fucking caught me off guard. Bro, that might have to be a soundbite, dog. I might need that, bro. That nigga said there's dookie on the sheets. It was just so normal. It was way too casual, bro. Way too casual. You don't say that. You don't just say that casually.
extra linens because
It's dookie on the sheets.
So what she said was she was actually made to have
That's
freak offs
fucking
during her
hilarious.
period, and so there would be blood on a lot of the sheets.
But why did Cassie keep
That's
participating?
not
if she
funny,
hated
but
these encounters so much.
that nigga's
She
dumb,
explained
bro.
that she was
Why you
a
say it like
very
that?
jealous girlfriend who was desperately in love with this powerful rich man with a 17-year age difference. She didn't want another woman taking her place, and Diddy had shared his secrets with her.
She felt vulnerable because he had shared this secret of these voyeurisms and freak offs that he liked to do. She didn't want another woman coming in and swooping up in her place. And a lot of times she alleges, and we saw actual text messages they brought up where she tried to tell him she didn't want to do a freak off.
The prosecutors even showed text messages where Cassie tried to tell Diddy she didn't want to do a freak off, and his response was basically, "You're boring, you're predictable." Classic manipulation tactic. Cassie felt pressured to comply, so he don't do it with somebody else. During Cassie's testimony,
I mean, he was going to do that regardless, bro. He's a fucking millionaire, fucking music icon. Unfortunately, he can do that with anybody. He was going to do that regardless. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if some of the people in making the band will be in the trial, like Chopper and them and Dylan.
Diddy was visibly shaking in the courtroom, looking pale and significantly thinner than his usual self. His nervous state was apparent to everyone present. But you said, how did he look? They look stressed out. He's definitely a lot thinner.
Oh, for sure. She definitely got groomed. No, for sure. Cause like this nigga, he seemed young, impressionable, potential, and he was like, shit. I got the lifestyle. I ain't even got to fake it. Throw some money in her face and give her an opportunity. But like, just because she was like, what, 17, 19 or whatever, she still was like a fucking kid in the mind type shit. And this nigga was dead ass already established. Real weirdo shit.
Thinner. Face is very pale. A lot of gray hair. Some black, but a lot of gray hair. You could tell he was nervous, shit. And he said it in the courtroom, and he had asked to go to the bathroom. He was like, excuse me, judge, I'm a little bit nervous, but you could tell at one point in time I saw, and I was watching him very closely, I saw like his hands shaking a bit, but very involved he's fighting for his life, literally. Like, I mean, he came with a file like a case of paperwork. He was on the tablet sitting next to Brian Steele. He's reading every drawer. Profile as things are happening. This man is shook, and rightfully so. He's facing charges that could lock him up for the rest of his life.
And they should.
The male escort's contradicting testimony. Now here's where things get even crazier. Remember that male escort who allegedly participated in these freak-offs?
Yeah, Diddy called that nigga the Punisher. Then charged the law for people to be grown at the age of 25. It seems being 18 is not good enough.
Well, he took the stand, and what he had to say painted a very different picture.
that nigga HR.
As a black man, probably like 5'7", really stocky, like, muscle. He testified that Cassie called him every time they wanted to hook up, and that when he first met them, he was told it was for a bachelorette party.
He shows up in an NYPD t-shirt, and he says Cassie opens the door. She's in red lingerie, she's in a wig, dark glasses, and pumps.
According to the escort, Cassie told him, my husband likes to do special things for me. He wanted to do this for my birthday. When he walked in, Diddy was allegedly sitting in the corner with a bandana tied around his face and a hat on. The escort testified that he and Cassie had intimate relations on the couch while Diddy sat in the corner and pleasured himself. He claimed he recognized Diddy immediately by his voice when Diddy spoke.
He told him he worked in import to exports. So when he said that, he said, I instantly caught the voice. And I'm like, well, how did you catch the voice? He said, I've been listening to this man, majority of my whole life.
Now here's the wild part. When prosecutors brought up the incident where the escort allegedly performed that explicit act on Cassie, the escort claimed it was Cassie who asked him to do it, not Diddy. Talk about a plot twist.
Exactly, because the prosecutors opened up that literally probably like 15 minutes before that. The prosecutors were like, Cassie is going to tell you that Diddy allegedly made this escort urinate on her. That there's an escort sitting in front of us sworn in on the stand saying, no, Cassie told me to do that.
This created a huge discrepancy in the case, potentially.
As a grown woman, it's still weird that when she got older, she kept doing the shit and also doing weird shit herself.
Couldn't get hard anymore.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe, like, I feel like the damage was already done at that young age, and she was just like, bro, this is the lifestyle that I kind of already, this is all I like and know and want. You know what I'm saying? So she started, you know what I'm saying? The victim becomes the doer, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. You understand? She starts, kind of doing the same shit. Or like, yeah, at first she was sitting there, didn't want. You see how they said that earlier? How she was laying down and she was just like, oh, what am I supposed to do? I didn't want to get peed on. So I just, I don't know. I just sat there and took it. Now you just literally got your own personal male escort for this nigga to watch you get peed on. What you talking about? Bro, I am dying. How the comments is about her husband saying he's a strong man and shit. Listening to this shit in court first. Oh man, I did see a little clip of that nigga. I'm like, bro, that nigga, he like, all right, bro. He enduring battles. He definitely fighting. He fighting his own personal battles. But yeah, I mean, women do stupid shit for a man we love. Yeah. It's about the it's all about the feelings, you know.
After seeing Diddy allegedly beat up Cassie badly at her house.
He said one time he couldn't get hard anymore because he went to Cassie's house. They got comfortable with him. He came to Cassie's house. When he was there, Cassie and Diddy was in the room. He was outside in the living room. Diddy comes out and goes off on Cassie, like allegedly beats her up bad because she took a long time to come back in the room to him. And he said after he saw that was his first time seeing her get physically touched.
So while the escort's testimony contradicted Cassie's claim about who initiated certain activities, it still supported the narrative that Diddy was physically abusive towards her. The escort's testimony was still ongoing, with cross-examination set to continue. This all had a visible impact on everyone in the courtroom, including Diddy's family members who were present.
It was awkward for me to watch them have to listen to all of this. After he started, the male escort started getting into a lot of the and stuff, they got up and left.
Imagine sitting there while people describe your father's alleged sex parties in graphic.
Him sitting in the corner, and now you gotta learn that your dad's a fucking freak boy. He likes to have nut rubbed on his nips and sit in the corner and beat off while his chick gets smashed. My male escorts.
Detail. That's a therapy bill waiting to happen.
Oh God.
The charges, defense strategy, and surveillance.
Oh God.
Let's break down exactly what Diddy is facing in this trial.
Freaky ass nigga.
Sean Diddy Combs' trial began with jury selection on May 5th, 2025. At the Daniel Patrick Moynihan Courthouse in Manhattan, with opening statements scheduled for May 12th. He's facing 5 counts. 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, could get life. 2 counts of sex trafficking, minimum 15 years each. 2 counts of transportation for prostitution, up to 10 years each. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all charges, but the prosecution came in with receipts longer than a CVS receipt after you buy some chapstick. The prosecutors are painting a picture of Diddy as a man who couldn't control his anger, especially when it came to Cassie. They brought up an incident where Cassie supposedly got a
Bro, we shouldn't, because, I mean, I'm about to say, bro, I'm going to get bored after, like, the first 40 minutes. I'm going to be like, hey, look, man, this nigga guilty, dog. She's, you know, not a victim. She was coerced in the beginning, but then she wanted to still follow through with said acts or whatever. Yes, you know what I'm saying? I do feel like you were, you know, a victim of domestic violence and all that shit, but nah. Yeah, we be in that bitch clowning. I'd be like, bro, no. Bro, why are we doing this, bro? Let's wrap this up so we can go to lunch. Shit, I want to go get a goddamn sub. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, bro. Let's wrap this up. Put this nigga in jail. Matter of fact, you can go too. Sorry, Diddy kids. Y'all life is just fucked. Let's get them some therapy and let's wrap this up. Put both their asses in jail and just put the kids in therapy.
Upset that Diddy was dealing with other women. So
what else is there to do? What else is there to do?
Diddy found out he allegedly grabbed his gun, took 2 staff members, one of whom did not want to go, and went looking for Cassie.
What the fuck else are we going to do?
The prosecutors are calling that kidnapping.
She decided to go deal with somebody else, so she dipped. Puff was coming. He came, you know, he's looking for her, can't find her. He grabs his gun. 2 of his staff members, one of the staff members said that she did not want to go, and allegedly she was forced to go. So they labeled that kidnapping. And they went to this man's house looking for Cassie in this rage. Cassie wasn't there, and it was like all hell broke loose.
What in the Tony Montana is that? Imagine if your ex pulled up to your new booze crib with a squad.
You saw Snoop Dogg goof ass.
That's not if your ex.
Cassie wasn't there, and it was like all hell broke loose.
What in the Tony Montana is that? Imagine if your ex pulled up to your new
booze crib. Just Harlem shaking in the background.
Just because you moved on. That's not I'll be missing you, that's I'll be threatening you. Now, Diddy's defense team came in with an interesting strategy. They basically admitted to everything except the
that was funny as shit.
They're saying, yeah.
Like hearing all this serious shit and just seeing Snoop Dogg in the back, just Harlem shaking in the big ass fucking chinchilla jacket. It's kind of funny, I ain't gonna lie.
He was trash, but not criminal trash.
All they did was own up to everything. They're like, look, he was angry. He can't control his anger. He, you know, might have abused drugs and been a horrible boyfriend. Y'all gonna hear text messages and audios that make him sound like a horrible person, and that he may have been. All of the most horrible things you could think about him when it comes to how he dealt with the women in his life. He's owning up to it.
Their whole argument is, if he was guilty of domestic violence, we wouldn't be arguing today. But since he's charged with sex trafficking and racketeering, they're fighting it. That's like saying, yeah, I stole the candy bar, but I didn't rob the whole store.
Like, if he was guilty of domestic violence, we wouldn't be arguing today. I mean, if he was charged with domestic violence, we wouldn't be arguing today. If he was charged with abuse in a certain way, we wouldn't be arguing today. But because he's charged with everything else, the sex trafficking and all these other things, we're here because he's not guilty of that.
The defense is trying to argue that just because something is immoral doesn't mean it's criminal. But I don't know if the jury is going to buy that when they're hearing all this disturbing testimony. A key piece of evidence in this case is the surveillance video from March 2016 that captured Diddy assaulting Cassie in a hotel hallway. This footage, which was released by CNN in May 2024, shows Diddy grabbing, shoving, and kicking Cassie. They brought in a witness who was working security at the Intercontinental Hotel when this incident happened. This man, Israel Flores, was now an LAPD officer, but back then, he was responding to a call about a woman in distress on the 6th floor. According to his testimony, when he arrived, he saw Cassie and Diddy arguing. Cassie kept saying, I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave, but Diddy was like, no, she's not going anywhere. The security guard had to step in and tell Diddy that if she wanted to leave, they would allow her to get her things and go. He also claimed that when he walked Cassie and Diddy back to their room, he saw a man in dark clothing sitting on the bed, which becomes important.
Yeah, that drawing looked like fucking Steve Harvey.
About what led to the hallway assault. Cassie's version is that she was trying to get away from one of those freak-off situations that she didn't want to be part of, and that's why Diddy assaulted her in the hallway. But Diddy's team claimed that's not what happened at all.
Now, Diddy's team is saying...
so that's why the video matters to the court.
Diddy's team is saying, no, because freak-offs weren't a thing. You guys were consensually engaging in sexual acts, but that's not even what happened here.
According to Diddy's team, they were arguing over something Cassie saw on Diddy's phone. They're saying it was just a very tumultuous, jealous relationship, not anything to do with forced sexual encounters. During cross-examination, Diddy's lawyer, Brian Steele, tried to discredit the security guard's testimony by pointing out inconsistencies. The security guard claimed Cassie had a purple eye when he first saw her, but that wasn't in his incident report from 2016. He also mentioned seeing a man inside their hotel room, but that wasn't in the report either.
So he instantly starts getting him. He's like, okay, so you mentioned something about Cassie having a purple eye when you got off of the elevator.
Why the fuck did he walk in like that, bro?
The man said, well, I didn't think that was significant to put in. Brian still said, so you thought it was significant today, but it wasn't significant 9 years ago? So then he says, you said that you saw a man inside of their hotel room. Why wasn't that in your incident report? Did you ask the man his name? Did you talk to him? And he was like, no, because the man didn't really say anything.
The defense also pointed out that the security guard recorded videos on his personal phone and sent them to his wife, laughing about how shiny his shoes were, not exactly taking the situation seriously. The defense suggested that this security guard might have been covering up for Diddy back then, but got a conscience now. Regardless of the security guard's credibility issues, that video of Diddy assaulting Cassie doesn't lie. It's important to understand that Cassie's lawsuit filed in November 2023 was a catalyst for all of this. That lawsuit was settled the next day.
Hey, yo, my nigga Crunk, what's the word, bro?
Against Diddy. By April 20,
we on some Diddy shit, bro. Pause. That'd be emo too, bro. That nigga said rimming. Hey, yo, yeah, fire. Fire emo. I got some shit coming in too, bro. What's good with you, my G? How you feeling? You on some Diddy shit? Pause. Yeah, bro. Just chilling. Wild back Wednesday. Cooling and vibing. About to play some weird games and shit. You know? Yeah. Oh, shit. I'm not resubbed. I do need to resub. Yeah, you been putting in work. Yo, I was trying to find... That's fire. I was trying to find I'll tell you later because I don't even want to talk about it during the Diddy. We're watching the Diddy video, so I'll tell you later.
25, over 63 lawsuits had been filed against
I'm at the library working on some content.
From
hey, good shit. Actually, I'm doing the same shit right now.
About over 100 alleged
you know what I'm saying?
Including
making this video
minors and one as young
for
as
YouTube. I got another one I'm about to drop too.
Skin crawl, I don't know what will. Prosecutors
alleged that
Diddy ran a criminal enterprise that involved sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. They claim he would force women into days-long sexual activities with men.
That nigga white as fuck.
commercial sex workers using violence, intimidation,
you read books? W
narcotics,
smart nigga.
financial control, and threats.
Yeah, don't let me
The
distract
allegations
you
about
from
his white
the
parties are
from the
particularly
reaction.
disturbing.
I'm a vibe.
These
You
events,
good,
held
bro?
from
You're a part of the
1998 to
reaction now.
2009 in places like East Hampton and Beverly Hills, were once celebrated for their glamour and exclusivity. But behind the scenes, accusers claim these parties had a much darker purpose. For example, Adria English, a former employee, alleged in a July 2024 lawsuit that she was groomed into sex trafficking at these white parties, being coerced into sexual acts with guests after being given drug-laced alcohol. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team is trying everything to discredit the witnesses and prosecutors. Mark Garagos, whose daughter is one of Diddy's lead attorneys, called the prosecutors a six-pack of white women on a podcast, implying there's racial bias in the prosecution. The judge was not happy about this and threatened to...
Can anybody say his last name? I think I know how to say it. Nigga said super. I think I know how to say it. Subramanian. 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 How the fuck do you say that normally? She said I can't say that shit. Subramanian. Damn. Subramanian. Stop being Mexican. Subramanian. Got it.
hold Carragos in contempt of court if it happened again.
Because he's inferring that because these are all white women on the jury, that based on race, white women are going to convict black men because of the race component. That's what he's implying. He pointed to the fact that it's all white women who are going to prosecute.
Diddy's legal team Subramanian attorney named Nicole Westmoreland, who supposedly abused at cross-examination. Pulling out all the stops to defend him.
Subramanian.
It's looking rough for Mr. Combs. One thing's for sure. This trial has revealed the dark side of a man who was once one of the most powerful figures in the music industry. The once celebrated bad boy founder who became a billionaire by 202022 is now facing the possibility of spending the rest of his life
I need to find my inner Indian.
Grace has been swift.
I don't have an Indian.
From Howard University.
I don't have Indian. Well, I don't know.
City rescinding the key to the city.
I'm about to say I don't know my dad family.
As the trial continues,
I'm pretty well. No,
details are
I don't know.
To emerge.
We're sure I ain't got on Indian.
Alleged victims waiting in the wings. This is just the beginning of what could be one of the most explosive celebrity trials in history. The prosecution seems to have a strong case, but Diddy's defense team is fighting tooth and nail to get him acquitted. Will justice be served, or will Diddy somehow manage to escape these serious charges? Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. If you love this video, click on the card showing on your screen for more videos like this.
Why would I love this video? I mean, no. I don't love this video.
To his former bodyguard, Gene Deal, when Diddy was a free man, he used to perform crazy initiation rituals.
On the third day.
Oh, shit. What's this? Let me link it up next. I'm gonna cue it up.
She was a fairy. Yeah. She was a fairy.
Huh? Wait. Oh, this is what you was talking about. Okay, yeah. Tay, stop. All right, that's gonna be the next one. I'm about to say it's not the song, it's a reaction, y'all. Just relax. Let's lock in.
Party, be merry, and
that's great. See what you did, HR?
The men would have with each other.
The Lil Rod court documents show how Diddy, alongside Universal Music Group executives and other associates, are in a gang that allegedly lets Diddy groom and kill artists like Usher, Bieber, and Biggie. But now that he's in prison, the same prison Epstein died in, these initiation rituals he used to blackmail and groom.
Now, I think Epstein is actually dead, or you think he's I just made that a sound. We've been hearing that a whole bunch. You think he actually died? I mean, I'm not died. I mean, you think he actually was murdered, or he just, you know what I'm saying, got himself out the way? and GTA. I don't know.
People have taken on a much darker tone. Here's the truth of the prison called Hell on Earth. Diddy's house of terrors and rituals. Tragically, the downfall of music producer and rapper P. Diddy is being accompanied by a series of little dirty secrets dancing in the light of the day. One of the horrifying secret occurrences is his gang initiation ritual, which has been characterized by paying homage to certain spirits at midnight during the full moon, and a night of endless homosexual activities by the initiates.
People who believe in the cult was looking for that moon on 12/12 at 12 a.m. And they were doing...
There's like a freaky spirit demon that comes out at 12 o'clock? Huh? Right, cold. Huh? Now, Tori, come back. I'm learning this shit too. I'm like, huh? Nigga, what? Yeah, they was doing like Diddy demon rituals? Huh? This nigga's a wizard?
On spiritual rituals at that time.
Who is this dude and how did he know this? This is Gene Deal, a former celebrity bodyguard who has done extensive protection work for Bad Boy Records and was P. Diddy's personal
This
bodyguard
nigga's a
for
warlock?
a number of years.
He was on Demon Time.
Nah, for real. Bodyguard on the Night Rapper, the Notorious Big, was shot and killed. Now that you know who Gene Deal is, let's proceed with this shocking revelation.
Knew this nigga was different.
Wild ritual. The celebrity bodyguard explained that on the last day of the ritual, after the full moon has been sighted and the seasons are changed, that's when people...
They paid homages to certain sacrifices and homages to certain idols. And on the third day,
nigga, what?
They would drink, party, be merry, and the men would have with each other.
Shockingly, Gene Deal is not holding back any information. He is spilling all the beans about the ritual process Sean Diddy Combs indulges in. And you heard him. On the third day, he explained that the men would exchange gifts as they drink and marry, then wrap up the night by having sex with each other.
Don't believe it. Look it up for yourself.
Coming straight up from the comment
there's
section,
whole lore
this dude
about
has
this.
a whole lot to say about the ritual Gene Deal was talking about. The ritual you mentioned is called the cremation of care, and traditionally a baby or child is burnt as a sacrifice to deity called Moloch. Most elites celebrate this at the Bohemian Grove. The root of this go back to Roman festivals dedicated to the god Satanius made popular by Emperor Caligula.
I do remember shit about this in Bohemian Grove. I was just like, bro, yeah, don't they like sacrifice babies and just do like a whole lot of weird shit? And I remember doing a reaction on the Bohemian. One of the niggas that supposedly had got some inside footage of Bohemian Grove.
It's more based in Satanism than what most people call paganism. Just wow. However, Diddy's former personal bodyguard is not the only one running their mouth about the extremely shocking lifestyle they experienced at Diddy's. Musician Usher, who was entrusted in Diddy's custody at the age of 13, said he saw very curious things when he lived with the music mogul. The You Got It Bad musician, 45, appeared on the Howard Stern Show in 2016, where he opened up about his time living with Diddy for a year when he was 13 years old.
Hey, it was curious.
13 is fucking nuts.
Yes, I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What we?
Apparently, there's a celebrity witch who exposes a lot of celebrities. This is like, it's like two of them. Yeah, I think Jaguar, what's her name? Jaguar, right? You think she like one of them? Because she definitely a whistleblower.
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
Usher then recalled that there were
13 is
famous
fucking
artists
nuts.
like Biggie Smalls, Lil Kim, Craig Mack, Faith Evans, and Mary J. Blige, who were also hanging around at the time. When asked if he was staying up until 4 a.m. partying
2025
with
will
Diddy
expose
and his
everything.
entourage,
Cat Williams,
Usher
that
said
ass was
he
right.
could and
Called
actually stayed up longer than them. In a different interview with Rolling Stone in 2004, Usher revealed that P. Diddy exposed him to a different lifestyle, specifically to a different style of sex. He explained, "It's so hot in the industry, man. There was always girls around. You'd open a door and see somebody doing it, or several people in a room having an you never knew what was going to happen. In February 2024, the musician and stepper also opened up to People's Magazine about the crazy lifestyle he experienced at Diddy's Flavor Camp. He recalled how he was able to
Flavor Camp is still crazy
industry at a very early age, and also witnessed the making of some of the greatest albums in the industry. He recalled, "I can remember Outkast making their first records and being able to hear Rico Wade work on these songs, literally sleeping in this man's living room, being in the dungeon, just kind of being around and just trying to figure out who's who." But here's where it gets crazier. After experiencing most of the fun of his life and meeting the right connections in the industry as a young boy, Howard Stern asked the musician if he would like to send his son to one of those Diddy's Flavor Camps to acquire the experience he did. His response revealed a deeper meaning.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
No.
Hold up. Did you see how straight up he came with that? No.
Oh God, that nigga said hell no. Because he was like, bruh, fuck no. Some shit done happened to that little nigga, bro. Oh God. Instead of flavor of love, it was flavor of yuck.
Is not about to make the same mistake of sending his offspring to experience what he did. These two comments represent the reaction of most people to this 2016 interview. This person reiterated, "Would you ever send your son to Puffy Camp?" No. He is laughing, but you can see the pain in his eyes. It still haunts him. He got passed around by the entire industry. It's not worth sacrificing your soul for silver and gold. And another person added, "Him answering no to the question at the end tell me everything I need to know about what Usher experienced," shaking my head. To be honest, most people think that hell no was very telling. In another light, producer Lil Rod's grooming process into Diddy's lifestyle is perhaps one of the craziest experiences of his life. It appears that when Diddy picked up the phone and called Lil Rod to be part of the brains behind his The Love album, his life has not been the same again. The initiation ritual process was terrifying, shocking, and diabolical. Sadly, he endured all of that crazy stuff because it came with a promise of a Grammy.
I took a year off straight working on this album. That album is the Love album, Off the Grid by Diddy. And it's Grammy nominated right now as we speak. I should be celebrating, but the truth is I'm not.
Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr. is speaking out for the first time since filing a lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs in February. In the lawsuit, Lil Rod alleges Combs sexually harassed, drugged, and threatened him while he traveled and lived with the rapper between September 2022 and November 2023. In an interview with Rolling Stone, the 38-year-old music producer said he feared for his safety and his life. He also tagged Diddy as a monster. Lil Rod also alleges that Diddy did not pay him for his services after producing 9 songs off the album.
Damn.
I have no source of income right now. Every month I'm trying to figure out how the bills are going to get paid. Here I am standing up for justice, for what I believe is right for my life, and I'm being punished for that. I'm blackballed for sure, he said in the interview. Anyway, before we go deep into Lil Rod's allegations and lawsuit, take a look at this creepy footage of Diddy with young Justine Bieber detailing how the events of the
What did you just call him?
Take a look at this creepy footage of Diddy with young Justine Bieber detailing.
Nigga said Justine Bieber.
Rod's allegations and lawsuit. Take a look at this creepy footage of Diddy with young Justine Bieber detailing how the events of their next 48 hours together was supposed to be unfolded.
He's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose.
That's so weird. Nigga, if you first off, hanging out with a kid for 2 days and then you being like, oh, we can't really, Justine. You're like, what do you mean? Oh, they having a time of their lives. We can't really disclose what we doing. Or what? Nigga, that sounds weird as fuck. You have a minor with you and y'all are having fun. People just be leaving their kids with anybody. Dropping their kids off at fucking Flavor Camp, letting them go just do whatever. Letting them go to Dan Schneider Camp. You know, whenever they got the promise of wealth, fame, and power. I'm sounding like the nigga off of One Piece. But like dead ass, whenever they got the, you know, they're like, oh shit, hell yeah, this is my kid, but this could also be my meal ticket. Not because why you can't disclose it. Right. If y'all taking my kids to go play laser tag and go-karting and going to a carnival, eating funnel cakes and shooting clowns in the face with water guns, that sounds awesome. Why can't you disclose that information? That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Cool. I'm glad you did that or whatever. But now you doing some dirty shit. You doing some freaky shit. Why the fuck you can't tell somebody you took my kid to Chuck E. Cheese?
And I remember at the time, most people were concerned about what an adult was doing with a 14-year-old in an undisclosed location.
And what the fuck is so fun that you and a 14, 13-year-old, what can y'all do that's so damn fun that you can't disclose what it is? That's weird, nigga.
And doing undisclosed activities. However, in the most shocking turn of events, an inmate from prison could not settle with the traumatic events he experienced during his time in a Michigan nightclub with Diddy in 1997. So you know what he did? He filed a $100 million lawsuit against the—
That nigga kind of looked like Morpheus. What's that nigga name? Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah. He looked like Lawrence Fishburne, but he has like the Little Mermaid eyes.
The rapper, and won based on default judgment because neither Diddy nor his lawyer showed up for the virtual hearing. The mind-blowing case was set in motion by Derek Cardello Smith, an inmate at Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility, Michigan, who is known for his long history of challenging the judicial system with civil lawsuits. Derek Cardello Smith is currently serving 75% of jail time for criminal sexual conduct and kidnapping charges, but did not allow his jail time to restrain him from seeking justice after being sexually assaulted by the entertainment mogul nearly 3 decades ago. Hold up. The lawsuit claims that Cardello Smith and rapper P. Diddy met while he was working at a Detroit area restaurant in 1997. During a night of drinking and weed smoking, they reportedly had sex with a group of women, according to the suit. Cardello Smith said he felt a man's hand touching him, which he claims was Diddy's. According to 51-year-old Cardello Smith, I then went to get another drink and Sean asked me if I needed something else. I said no, and he said, "Here, drink this one." And I thought it was another glass of Jim Beam, so I took it because I had sat one down in the other room, and then I drank some more. And I stayed sitting there, and I began getting drowsy and started to pass out. And then Sean Combs said to me, "I added a little something to it for you. I will get that from you anyway, one way or another." And then I passed out.
And he made me a financial offer of $2.3 million to allow what happened to me to go away.
Now here's where it gets spicy. Cardello Smith then provided prison facility information with Diddy's name logged into the visitation record, which allowed him to claim that P. Diddy offered him $2.3 million to dismiss the lawsuit after he filed it. During the August hearing, Derek Cardello Smith told the court that P. Diddy persuaded him to drop the $100 million lawsuit and accept an out-of-court settlement, saying, "You know how we get down." Cardello then replied, "I disagree with how you get down."
You know how we get down is crazy.
For a restraining order.
What the fuck do you mean by that?
A temporary restraining order was granted. I've signed it, and so
you
we'll
mean
get that
by that? You know how we get down,
and then
bro.
you have to obviously serve that on the parties.
However, Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, refuted the judge's statement about his client being properly served with the lawsuit. He said that his client looks forward to having this judgment swiftly dismissed. If their claims stick, the case would be called back, and Cardello Smith would have to prove his allegations and claims in court, the mogul in custody. Some people said the simultaneous home raids by federal agents on 2 of Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles earlier this year were signs that the rapper would soon be going down R. Kelly's path. Well, they were right, because on Monday, the embattled music producer and rapper was arrested in a Manhattan hotel in New York City, barely 24 hours after the news of the $100 million judgment against him went viral. At the time of the arrest, it was unclear what the charges against him were because he was arrested based on a sealed indictment by a federal grand jury. According to TMZ, just a couple of hours before the rapper was arrested, he was confidently strolling the streets of New York City, greeting and taking selfies with fans alongside his son, Christian King Combs. Sources reported to TMZ that the rapper's arrest was scheduled for Tuesday morning, but due to some complications, Homeland Security surprised the rapper in a Midtown hotel where he was staying and arrested him based on a sealed indictment issued by the Southern District of New York. It has been confirmed that Diddy was taken into federal custody in Lower Manhattan. It appears the action was taken in connection with the ongoing criminal investigation into alleged sex trafficking and other offenses that led to search warrants being issued and executed at Diddy's homes in Beverly Hills and Miami. A courtroom sketch shows P. Diddy in his first courtroom appearance following the indictment where the charges against him were read and litigated. According to the 14-page federal grand jury indictment, Sean Diddy has been charged with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. According to news reports, as expected, at the hearing in Manhattan, the rapper pleaded not guilty to all the charges labeled against him and has tried to bond his way out of jail, but to no avail.
Diddy Combs has been denied bail in connection with the sexual abuse and sex trafficking charges he faces. And as Les Trent reports, the music mogul who once traveled by private jet to all those mansions,
she got a very sharp face,
is now in a jail that is notorious for its bad living conditions.
It was then reported that the music producer spent his first night behind bars in one of the most notorious jail facilities in the world, Hell on Earth. This facility's name feels so intense and suggestive of the horrible living conditions as described by Inside Edition news reporter Les Trent.
How bad is it inside this federal lockup? There have been 2 murders, 4 suicides, and numerous stabbings and lockdowns in recent years. It's so out of control inside that 4 federal judges are reportedly refusing to send any more prisoners here.
Unfortunately, for someone like Diddy, who had enjoyed a life of luxury, comfort, and freak-offs, he would definitely find a hard time adapting in his new environment, where he has only a half-inch mattress without a pillow, plastic chair, and just 3 5-fit spaces to move around. Reports say that Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, told the judge that the facility is inhumane and a total tragedy. Hence, he is trying all he can to keep Diddy out of jail. His attorneys were so eager to keep him out of jail to the extent they are offering his $48 million mansion in Miami Beach and his private jets as bail. Inside Edition reported that Diddy's lawyers offered to restrict female visitors from visiting his house if granted bail, except for his mother, sisters, and mothers of his children. However, the judge refused to bend. After spending a night in Hell on Earth, CBS News reported that the music mogul walked into the courtroom for his bail appeal hearing looking calm and humble. However, despite the confidence and the calm fronting he walked in with, the federal judge denied him bail again, saying that if released, Diddy is more likely to tamper with evidence and/or witnesses. This is largely because prosecutors accused Combs of witness tampering, saying at the hearing yesterday that the rap mogul's employees tried to ensure his ex-girlfriend Cassie and hotel employees wouldn't say anything about a beating at a Los Angeles hotel 8 years ago. They argued that video of the assault, which captured Diddy kicking and stomping on the singer Cassie at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016, disappeared from the hotel's server before it was later obtained and published by CNN. According to authorities, bags of pink powder were found in Diddy's hotel room during his arrest. After Diddy flew to New York to await arrest 2 weeks ago on the advice of his lawyers, bags of pink powder were discovered in his hotel room. Although the powder was not tested, the prosecutors said it appeared to be narcotics and that similar bags previously seized at Combs' properties during the home raids tested positive for drugs, including ecstasy. Note that during the same raid, 1,000 bottles of baby oils were also retrieved from Diddy's residence. It is why some people think it would be hard for Diddy to get out of this mess because he spent his entire career working tirelessly to retire in prison. As evidence, authorities have interviewed more than 50 witnesses and collected dozens of cell phones, laptops, and hard drives, and they have a video that they claim shows the coerced sex and heinous acts that Diddy is accused of orchestrating. Hold up, guys. Let's not forget Lil Rod Jones' February lawsuit against Diddy. According to producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones' 73-page court document, due to his job description, which required filming P. Diddy at all times,
Johnson & Johnson lost their best customer
showing P. Diddy alongside his associates and guests engaging in a series of illegal activities, which includes the use of ecstasy drugs and distribution of unregistered firearms. His lawsuit alleges that the A-list rapper has been involved in sex trafficking and assault on Lil Rod and other victims, including minors. Lil Rod's accusations, as well as the grand jury indictment, portray the rapper as a horrifying abuser.
Nobody's gonna buy that shit now.
However, in his defense, Diddy's lawyer warned that his client should not, in any way, be mentioned in the same sentence
like nobody's gonna buy that shit now.
Criminals. According to NBC News, the music mogul's defense attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said Combs is not disgraced singer R. Kelly, sex cult leader Keith Raniere, or accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Mark Agnifilo objected to the claims of the federal grand jury indictment that his client committed sex trafficking and other sexual assault-related charges. He referred to Diddy's crime as only cheating and being unfaithful over a dark period. He told the court, "This is different. These were consenting adults." Funnily, he added, "This is evidence, not of sex trafficking, but of being caught being unfaithful." In his argument to grant bail for Diddy, Mark reminded the court he was in a 10-year loving relationship through dark periods. Although the first trial seemed to have gone out of their favor, Diddy's lawyer is still hopeful for bail in order to get his client out of hell on earth. He revealed that the rapper planned on surrendering to authorities before he was arrested in New York. While talking to reporters outside the courtroom, Mark Agnifilo said, "Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He came to New York to establish his innocence. Then he proceeded to assert his claim
Innocent
that
of
Diddy
what?
is not afraid and he would fight to the finish. There's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind.
He definitely likes to finish and have that shit put on his fucking nips. Freaky ass nigga.
And about anything. Why was Diddy arrested?
All right, happening right now, hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs is in a federal courtroom this morning. The indictment was just unsealed, revealing that Combs is facing
y'all wonder why Cassie
charges of
just stayed
trafficking and racketeering.
To be honest, Diddy's arrest did not meet anyone as a surprise. The beginning of 2024 kicked off with a waving flag announcing Diddy's tragic descent. I mean, with the spree of lawsuits and assault-related allegations that were fast rising against the rapper like his hits on Billboard Hot 100, it was only a matter of time before the feds came for him. Reading through the 14-page indictment,
I'm tired of this, Diddy. Well, that's too damn
charges
bad.
against the rapper are too heavy for the mouth to hold.
That's not funny.
Nevertheless, I will break it down for you. The grand jury
that's
indictment
what
against
was going
Sean
on.
Diddy Combs alleges 3 serious charges centered on the rapper's lifestyle dating back to the 90s, when the applause and attention were all on him. On count 1, the grand jury charged him with racketeering conspiracy, which alleges that the music mogul has, over the decades of his career, abused, threatened, and coerced men and women around him to fulfill his wild desires while simultaneously protecting his reputation. Just like many other people, you might be wondering how the rapper was able to do all these extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile things and still appear like a saint bearing the name Love. Well, according to the indictment, to do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engage in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Disturbingly, P. Diddy's pattern of abuse hinges on the manipulation of women and other people around him to participate in highly orchestrated performances with commercial workers, most times for his pleasure. But this is where I knew the rapper would be gone for long. The federal grand jury has tagged most of the businesses and enterprises led by Diddy as a criminal enterprise. And you know what that means, right? According to the indictment, Sean Diddy Combs and other known and unknown associates are members of a criminal enterprise called the Combs Enterprise. The federal grand jury alleges that since 2008, up to the time of their filing, these members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, trafficking and interstate transportation for the purpose of According to the indictment, the purpose of the enterprise includes fulfilling the personal desires of Combs, particularly those related to Combs' gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial. On count 2 of the federal grand jury indictment, P. Diddy is charged with trafficking. The grand jury alleges that between the period of 2009 to 2018 in the Southern District of New York, where Diddy's enterprise is stationed, and elsewhere, Sean Diddy Combs engaged in interstate and foreign commerce in which he knowingly recruited, enticed, and transported a person tagged as Victim 1 to engage in commercial with disregard to the fact that Victim 1 was engaging in commercial due to force, fraud, and coercion. On count 3, the grand jury charged the embattled music producer and A-list rapper Sean Diddy Combs with transportation to engage in. According to the indictment, between the period of 2009 and 2024, Diddy, who has been tagged as the defendant, knowingly transported an individual in interstate and foreign commerce with the intent that the individual engages in prostitution. The grand jury further alleged that the music mogul willfully caused the transportation of female victims and commercial workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engage in. It is not a surprise to know that most people believe that Diddy's arrest, the federal grand jury indictment, and the previous home raids were attracted by the horrifying 2016 hotel hallway footage obtained by CNN in which Diddy was seen physically abusing ex-girlfriend Cassie. According to CNN, the video was from an incident in March 2016. It captures multiple angles. Cassie, whose name is Cassandra Ventura, alleged in a federal lawsuit in November that Combs and physically abused her, including punching, beating, kicking, and stomping her over the course of their relationship. However, shockingly, the lawsuit was settled the day after it was filed. Cassie Ventura anchored her courage to call Diddy out on New York's Adult Survivors Act, which allows victims of domestic abuse assault to make a case regardless of when it happened. According to her, with the expiration of New York's Adult Survivors Act fast approaching, it became clear that this was an opportunity to speak up about the trauma I have experienced and that I will be recovering from for the rest of my life. In the video, Cassie Ventura exits a hotel room and walks to a bank of elevators. Diddy, holding a towel around his waist, runs down a hall after Ventura. He grabs her by the back of the neck and throws her to the floor. Still holding his towel closed with one hand, he then turns to kick her. The video shows. As Ventura is on the ground, Combs retrieves a purse and suitcase from the floor near the elevators. He turns around and kicks Ventura, again as she lies motionless on the floor. About 4 seconds transpire between the two kicks, according to the video. He then briefly drags Ventura by her sweatshirt toward a room before walking away. After the video was released, Diddy shamefully offered an apology online, claiming that he was in a bad place and he had sought therapy and now fully recovered. But you know what? Just when Diddy thought it was over, another lawsuit slapped him, and then another one. Then they kept coming. I'm sure you still remember the events of February 26, 2024. Yes, Lil Rod filed a lawsuit against his boss, Diddy, in which he alleged that he was subjected to unwanted advances by associates of Diddy at Diddy's direction during his stay in the rapper's house. Disturbingly, he also claims that Diddy forced him to have with workers. According to producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones' 73-page court document, the A-list rapper has been involved in trafficking and assault on Lil Rod himself and other victims, including minors. But here is where it gets crazier. The lawsuit identified rapper 50 Cent's former girlfriend and the mother of one of his children, Daphne Joy, as one of the alleged workers. The lawsuit also alleges that P. Diddy regularly hosted trafficking parties with underage women and illegal drugs, and implies record label executives who looked the other way financially benefited from access to celebrities and dignitaries, including the British royal Prince Harry. However, Prince Harry is not accused of any wrongdoing or of attending parties himself.
You want to say Prince Harry was at the Diddy parties too? Damn.
Without a doubt, Lil Rod's lawsuit feels like a wide, deep, never-ending dungeon dug to bury rapper P. Diddy and everything he had ever worked for. But again, we should not forget that in November 2023, shortly after Cassie's lawsuit, Joey Dickerson Neal filed a lawsuit alleging that Combs her, assaulted her, and secretly recorded the assault while she was a college student in 1991. It seems the rapper's freaky, disgusting escapades date back to the early 90s. According to the lawsuit cited by NBC News, Joey Dickerson Neal claimed that on 3rd December 1991, Diddy asked her out on a dinner date, which she reluctantly agreed to, but that turned out to be the worst day of her life. She claimed that Diddy and abused her, resulting in her being in a physical state where she could not independently stand or walk. Just like a pattern, her lawsuit also alleges that Diddy recorded the abuse and showed it to his friends and associates. Although she reported the case to the police in New York and New Jersey and also spoke to prosecutors, she was told by her colleagues they were terrified that Combs would retaliate against them and that they would lose future business and music opportunities if they made a statement in support of. Interestingly, according to news reports, between November until present, 3 more women have come forward with lawsuits in the Southern District of New York.
I did see that. I saw that it said the BBC reported it, and I was like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I saw that shit too. I was like, come on, bro. Oh, you liking, bro? Yeah, I try to do a refresh real quick, brother. I saw that shit too. I was like, bro, who reported it? I saw that shit too. I was like, bro. Really? I saw this shit too. I was like, bro, really? Yo, why y'all got a report on it? Come on, bro.